Hello, listeners. You are listening to English with Mahdi. I am here to teach you another 8 English words, and I want to welcome all of you to a place where you can improve your vocabulary and to also use it in daily life. Now let's commence, shall we? The first word that we have today is convince. Convince. The stress is on the second syllable. Convince. Convince is a verb and it means to make them believe or accept something is true, usually by giving reasons, facts, or strong arguments. In short, convince means to change someone's mind. Now let's have some synonyms for convince, which are persuade, assure, and influence. For the examples, we have the teacher convinced the students to study harder, and I couldn't convince him that the plan was good. Lastly, she's convinced that English is important. Now listen to this imagery, dear listeners. Two friends are talking. One wants to quit learning English. The other shows him success stories, job opportunities, and real examples. At first, the friend shakes his head. Finally, he nods and says, "Okay, you are right, I will continue." At that time, when the mind changes, that moment is convincing. That's it. Now for the second word, we have persuade. Persuade. The stress is on the second syllable. Persuade. Persuade is a verb, and to persuade someone means to make them do something or agree to do something by talking to them, often using reasons, emotions, or repeated effort. In short, to persuade someone means that this person takes action from that time on. Listen to this imagery, dear listeners. Imagine that a student doesn't want to join an English course. The teacher keeps explaining the benefits, motivates him, and encourages him. Finally, the student fills out the registration form. At that time, that action shows persuade. Some synonyms for persuade we have convince, influence, encourage. Now for the examples we have the salesman persuaded her to buy the phone, and I couldn't persuade my friend to come with me. Lastly, she's good at persuading people. Now, dear listeners, let's just keep in mind that there's a difference between convince and persuade. Convince means to change someone's mind, but persuade is to change someone's action. That's it. And for the third word that we have is reckless. Reckless. The stress is on the first syllable. Reckless. Reckless is an adjective, and its verb is recklessly, and recklessness is a noun. Now for the meaning, reckless means doing something without thinking about danger or consequences. In short, reckless means to do something without taking any care, caution, or thinking ahead. Imagine that a man is driving very fast. He ignores traffic lights and warning signs. People shout, but he doesn't slow down. Suddenly, an accident happens. That behavior is actually reckless. Now for the synonyms we have careless, irresponsible, foolish, dangerous. And for collocations we have reckless behavior, reckless driving, reckless decision, reckless actions, act recklessly. And for the example sentences we have he was reckless and ignored the warning signs. Reckless driving is very dangerous. She acted recklessly and lost her job. That's the dealness. And for the fourth word, we have complacent. Complacent. The stress is on the second syllable. Complacent. Complacent is an adjective, and it means feeling too comfortable or satisfied with a situation, so you stop trying to improve or be careful. In short, it means no effort because everything feels fine. Imagine a student gets good marks in English. He stops studying and stops practicing. He thinks, I'm already good enough. Later, his level becomes weaker. So that attitude is complacent. For the synonyms, we have self-satisfied, overconfident, and content. And for the collocations, we have become complacent, feel complacent, complacent attitude, complacent about something, complacent team and company. Now we have some examples. He became complacent after getting the job. The company was complacent about its success. Students should not be complacent with their English level. Now there's also a difference between reckless and complacent. Reckless means doesn't care about danger, but complacent means doesn't care about improvement. Always remember the reckless driver and complacent about her English. That's it, shall we? And for the next word, we have utilize. The stress is on the first syllable. Utilize. Utilize. Utilize is a verb and it means to use something effectively, especially for a specific or practical purpose. In short, utilize doesn't just mean to use, but also to use well or smartly. Imagine that a teacher has a whiteboard, a projector, and a phone. Instead of only talking, she shows videos, examples, and pictures. Students understand faster. So at that time, she utilizes the tools. Some synonyms for utilize we have use, employ, apply, make use of. And for the collocations, we have utilize resources, utilize technology, utilize skills, utilize tools or equipment, utilize effectively. Now for the examples we can utilize this time to practice English. The teacher utilized videos to explain grammar. He didn't utilize the opportunity well. Remember that use is a simpler and a more common word, but utilize is usually common in academic and a formal contexts. That's it, and for the following word, we have manipulate. Manipulate. The stress is on the second syllable. Manipulate. Manipulate. Manipulate is a verb and it means to control or influence someone or something in a clever or unfair way to get what you want. Manipulate usually has a negative meaning and it means it represents a hidden control. Synonyms for manipulate we have control, exploit, deceive, handle, adjust, and operate. For the collocations, we have manipulate people, emotions, manipulate someone into doing something, manipulate data or information, manipulative behavior, and emotionally manipulate. Now for the examples, we have got she manipulated him into believing the lie. Politicians sometimes manipulate public opinion. Lastly, the scientist manipulated the equipment carefully. That's it, folks. Now for the seventh word, we have judicious. Judicious. The stress is on the second syllable. Judicious. Judicious is an adjective and it is making careful and wise decisions after thinking well. Imagine that a student has little time before exams. Instead of panicking, he plans his schedule carefully. He studies important topics first. So that careful thinking is judicious. Now some synonyms for judicious. We have wise, sensible, careful, and thoughtful. For the collocations, we have got judicious usive, judicious decision, judicious choice, judicious approach, and judicious management. Now for the examples, we have he made a judicious choice about his studies. Teachers should be judicious in giving homework. Lastly, a judicious approach saved the company money. That's it, dear listeners. And for the last word, we have got impeccable. Impeccable. The stress is on the second syllable. Impeccable. Impeccable is an adjective and it means perfect with no mistakes or faults. Imagine that a student submits an assignment, no grammar mistakes, clear ideas, perfect structure. The teacher finds nothing to correct, so that work is impeccable. Now let's see some similar words to impeccable. We have perfect, excellent, spotless, and flawless. For the collocations, we have impeccable manners, impeccable taste, impeccable timing, impeccable style, impeccable record, and absolutely impeccable. Now listen to some examples. We have the teacher's explanation was impeccable. She wore an impeccable suit. Lastly, he has an impeccable academic record. That's it, dear listeners. Now let's just use all the 8 words that we have studied and see what we have got in this short story. The teacher tried to persuade his students to study seriously and convince them that success needs effort. One student was reckless, skipping classes, while another became complacent after early success. The teacher showed them how to utilize their time wisely and warned them not to manipulate excuses to avoid responsibility. With a judicious plan and consistent practice, their performance became impeccable by the end of the semester. That's it, dear brothers and sisters. That's the end of this lesson. Hope you the best.